Dear students, now I will tell about this concept of isotope geology. In this isotope geology, first we will have to learn this what is the meaning of isotope. What is the meaning of isotope? This iso means same, top means atomic number. This is what same atomic number but different mass number. Suppose in case of carbon 6C12, 6C13 and 6C14. If we will see, this is same atomic number but different mass number. In atomic number, if we will see, this is the carbon, and if we will see, this is the electron 2 and this is 4. This is 6 electron plus 6 proton. That is what 6 plus 6, 12 is your atomic mass. Then if we will add, this is what, this is a nucleus. If we will add also, this is proton plus neutron. Here proton is 6 and neutron is 0. If we will add this neutron 1, this is what, 6 electron plus 6 proton plus 6 neutron. So this is what, 6 plus 6, 12 plus 1 equal to 13. This is what your atomic mass is 13. And this mainly isotope means same atomic number but different mass number. That means here mass number is 12 and here mass number is 13. In 12, that is neutron is 0, and this in 13, that is neutron is 1. That is what here in isotopes there is difference in neutrons generally. And if we will see similarly oxygen 8O16 and 8O18. Similarly, if we will see 8 electrons plus 8 protons, and if we will see in case of 8O18, 8 electrons plus 8 proton plus 2 neutron. That is what difference in neutron. If we will add some neutrons, then this mass number will get different from this original mass number. And here we will see in isotopes, generally we will see this how this neutrons will change. And if you will see, this is a types of this in isotope geology. We will see this stable isotopes, another one is radiogenic isotopes. In stable isotopes, that is means stable, that isotope with stable, and this is does not decay with time. When the time will go away, then this elements remains same, and this, that means that does not decay with time. And if you will see this radiogenic isotopes, or this is called as unstable isotope. This is not stable, it is always unstable, and it is decay with time. When the time will pass, then this is always decay. If one parent element is there, that is decay into daughter element. Suppose this carbon 6C14, this is a radiogenic elements, and this 6C14 will convert it to your 7N14. This is what parent element will convert it to daughter element. And generally the stable isotopes, this is used to trace the source, but radiogenic isotopes is used to determine the age of rocks or age of any living, any dead animal. This is what radiogenic isotopes, age of rocks. Generally for geochronology we will use this radiogenic isotopes. And radiogenic isotopes, if we will see this radiogenic isotopes, if we will see this radiogenic isotopes, there is potassium argon method, then rubidium strontium method, then rhenium osmium method, then uranium thorium lead method, then lutetium hafnium method. This is what, then samarium neodymium method. These all are different radioactive these are the different parent elements, daughter elements. This potassium and argon, this rubidium is the parent and this is the daughter elements. And this radiogen, this properties of elements is to decay with time. When this parent element with decay with daughter element, and if we will take half-life period and some decay constant, then we will calculate the geochronology or age of that rock, whether it is your igneous rocks or sedimentary or metamorphic rock. For this we will use these different radioactive methods to determine the age of rocks. This is what radiogenic isotopes, and in this lecture we will discuss about mainly about these stable isotopes. What are the different stable isotopes and what are the use of this? And in stable isotopes, if we will see, in stable isotopes there are carbon, oxygen, then sulfur, then your hydrogen. These all are different radioactive element. If we will see here, this is a hydrogen with isotopes 1H, and with 1H this is the abundance 99.98 and 2H 0.015. If we will see this carbon 12C, this is 98.89 and this 13C is 1.11. And if we will see this nitrogen, this abundance is 14N, abundance is 99.63 and this is 15N is 0.37. And if we will see this oxygen, this is the 16O, this is the abundance is 99.79 and this 18O is abundance is 0.204. And if we will go for sulfur, this is 32S is 95 for 95% abundance, then 33S is 0.76, then 34S 4.22 and 36S this is 0.014. If we will see this isotope is always represented in ratio. This is what. If we will tell about this hydrogen, this is what? If we will tell this hydrogen, this is 2H by 1H. And if we will tell about this carbon, this is what? 13C by 12C. And nitrogen, this is what? 15N by 14N. And if we will see this oxygen is 18O by 16O. Then if we will tell this sulfur is your 34S by 32S, like this. And whenever if we will tell this isotope, that will always represent the heavier one. This is what? 2H by 1S, this is what? 13C by 12C, and this is 15N, this is 18O, and this is what? Heavier by lighter. This is what? Heavier by lighter, this is heavier by lighter. In all this case, carbon, nitrogen, oxygen, sulfur, this is what? Your isotopes. And if we will see, if we will see here, these are different these isotopes with their applications. If you will see, this is the hydrogen. In hydrogen there is standard mean oceanic water. If we will go for carbon, this is what? This standard is PD belemnite. And if we will see nitrogen, that standard will take this in air. And oxygen, this is the standard of this isotope is SMO or PDB, means standard mean oceanic water or PD belemnite. Then sulfur, if we will see, this is Canyon dibolite. Then calcium, this is the NIST standard. Then strontium, this is the what? Bulk earth or seawater. And these are the different range. How this range will come? In suppose in hydrogen, if we will see, this is minus 175 to plus 70 parts per mil, that is in vertebrates. If we will see this carbon, in carbon that is minus 60 to plus 5 parts per mil. And like this nitrogen, if we will see, and this is the applications where we will, for the hydrogen isotopes we will apply for in migration, then habitat like this, then physiology, then diet in trophic level. And if you will see carbon, carbon, that is application in diet, digestive, physiology and migration purpose. This is what applications of different isotopes. If you will see in isotope, there is notation that is R equal to your heavy element divided by lighter element, that means 13C by 12C or 18O by 16O, like this. That is called as R means ratio. Ratio means ratio equal to this heavy element divided by lighter element. This is what in isotope there is notation. This is called as. Then if we will see, this is the, in isotope always we will represent this del of this heavier elements, that means 13C. Del of always isotope, always we will have to remember, always isotope will be represented by this heavier isotopes, heavier elements. If we will see, del is the notation for isotopes. If we take this carbon isotopes, that is what del 13C equal to R sample divided by R standard minus 1 into 1000 parts per mil ppm. So this is what for carbon isotopes, del 13C equal to R sample divided by R standard minus 1 into 1000. This is into 1000 ppm. Suppose this is for carbon, and for suppose if we will write for your oxygen, del 18O equal to R sample divided by R standard minus 1 into 1000 parts per mil. This is for oxygen, where R represents this 18O by 16O. Here in carbon R represents 13C by 12C. This is what? This is the sample value, this is the isotope value of sample. Then isotope value of this standard. For isotopes, there is some standard value is there which have already a fixed value. That in this case, in carbon isotopes, we are comparing what is the sample value in respect to standard value. That this is what always standard value is always fixed. And if we will see this instrument in carbon, for carbon isotope instrument, that is IRMS, that instrument name is isotope mass spectrometry, IRMS. Suppose in IRMS that we are, our standard value is coming, suppose 0.2, and suppose this standard value always that is fixed. Suppose always standard value that some sedimentary limestone, that is standard value is always fixed. Suppose minus 1 per mil, and if we will see in that instrument, if it will come equal to 0.8, suppose that is the difference is minus 0. Plus 0.2, and this is the difference between this standard value, always fixed standard value, and this standard value analyzed by this instrument. What is the difference? That difference again we will add the sample value, then that will give the correct value. That is what is called as our accuracy and precision. That is what the term is coming out. This is what del 13C equal to your this parts per mil. And similarly, that in case of oxygen isotopes, this is also R sample by R standard, where R 18O by 16O, means always isotope is always represented by this heavier by lighter elements. That is what del 18O equal to 18O by 16O of sample by 18O by 16O standard minus 1 into 1000 ppm. Similarly, if we will go for sulfur, suppose del 34S equal to this, similarly R sample divided by R standard minus 1 into 1000 parts per mil. Similarly, R sample, this R stands for 34s by 32s, like that. This is what your sulfur isotopes, this is oxygen isotopes, this is for carbon isotopes. Similarly, for hydrogen isotopes, for nitrogen isotopes, for all these isotopes, these rules are same. In this case, for carbon isotopes, that standard is generally PD belemnite. This is what the standard of this carbon isotopes, or the limestone rock from South Carolina. A standard, this rock, this limestone collected from South Carolina, and this is what the standard of this carbon isotopes, and this will be represented by this PD belemnite. This is what, this is a fixed ratio of this isotope value from which we will take all these values. Then this is what for in case of carbon isotopes. If we will see here, if we will see always this this del 13C always this is increases if this 13C R equal to 13C by 12C, and if we will see in case of oxygen R equal to 18O by 16O. In this case what? If this heavier elements increases, that means R is positive. If this lighter isotope, this lighter elements increases, then it will be negative. So similarly, in case oxygen isotopes, if this heavier one increases, then this product will be positive. If this lighter one increases, this product is negative. This is what we will always keep in mind in isotopes. If heavier one increases, that product will be positive, and if lighter one increases, that product is negative. And in this case, if we will see this carbon isotopes, this is what 13C by 12C. If this 13C increases, that means there is enrichment in 13C, that is called as enrichment in 13C. Yeah, that product is always positive. This is what is positive in nature. If there is del 13C decreases, if del 13C decreases, then if suppose del 13C equal to 13C by 12C of sample divided by 13C by 12C of standard minus 1 into 1000 parts per mil. If this in del 13C increases, then this product will be positive. That means there is enrichment in 13C. And if del 13C decreases, when it will decrease? When this 12C increases, that means 13C decreases. That means it will be negative, that product. That is what enrichment in 13C and enrichment in 12C. Accordingly, this product is either positive or negative. This is what in isotopes always this product either positive or negative. And if we will see this oxygen isotope, in oxygen isotope, if we will see this is del 18O equal to 18O by 16O sample divided by 18O by 16O standard, and if we will divide, this is minus 1 into 1000. Like this, your product means your that unit is oxygen, unit of oxygen isotope is standard mean oceanic water. This is what, and this is always parts per mil denoted by this parts per mil. And if del 18O equal to 0, that means same ratio with that of seawater. If that is del 18O is greater than 0, that is enrichment in heavy isotopes. If that will be positive or greater than 0. If del 18O is less than 0 or negative, that means this is depleted in heavy isotopes relative to seawater. Like that, this is a what? Oxygen isotopes. If we will see in carbon isotopes, that is what? PD belemnite, that is the standard. If this is a 0 and this is enriched in 13C and this is depleted in 13C. If you will see this enriched in 13C, this is what? Carbonates, seagrass, then like this fish and zooplankton like this, and this is what? This positive is minus 30 to minus 40, this is what? 13C depleted, that means negative, more and more negative, and when this 13C enriched, that is what? Positive value. This is what? One example of this carbon isotopes. And if we will see also, this is what? Hydrogen isotopes. If we will see, this is 0, minus 100, minus 200, minus 300 and minus 400, like that also. If we will see seawater, that is what? I think this is the hydrogen isotopes. D, that is means D, deuterium. If this is 0, that if we will analyze this seawater, that isotope value of seawater is nearly 0. Then if we will see this meteoric water, that is more and more negative, and juvenile water, this is what? Somehow nearly 50 to 80, minus 50 to minus 80. Then if you will see this marine organism and terrestrial plants, like that, petroleum, coal, like that, this hydrogen isotope will vary. Then if you will see, this one is your carbon isotopes. If you will see, and if this one is 0 and here positive and here negative value. If you will see, and these are atmospheric CO2, like this it is nearly 0, some minus, then marine HCO3, and then marine carbonate minerals, this is the range, then marine plants like this, all this coal, peat, and all these are minus and minus, negative, increase in negative values. And if we will see natural gas, and that is also nearly equal to minus 60, minus 60 to minus 20, like this. If we will see all these carbon isotopes, then it will increase like this. If you will see always, I have already discussed with this, isotopes is always used to, this stable isotope is generally used to trace the source from where it will come out. Then also this is also this another feature is one of the indicators, either it is fractionation through either physical processes or biological processes. Physical processes means, and what is the difference between physical process and biological process? And here if we will see this isotope fractionation, then R source by product, if this is the source and what is the product, either 13C or 12C. When it will be, suppose 13C, 12C or 18O, 16O. If we will see, suppose rainwater, suppose this is a seawater. In seawater, when this sunlight fall on this seawater, then this water will be evaporate. When this evaporation occurs in seawater, as 18O, 16O is there, when this evaporation, due to this evaporation, 16O will go upward, and whenever this cloud, in the cloud will get this enriched in 16O value, and like this if we will go below, and if will get enriched in 18O value, so that if that cloud will move towards your hill mountain area, then from there if this rain occurs, then we will get that is more negative value. That from this oxygen isotope will tell whether this climatic past oxygen isotope will show this past climatic conditions, either it is this climate is this cold climate, humid climate. From this oxygen isotope will tell this what is the past climatic conditions. And also this is, if you will see, like this isotope fractionation means how this fractionate 18O by 16O. Suppose due to here it is fractionate due to physical processes. Suppose from plant, if there will be plant, if suppose that CO2, it will take CO2 from the atmosphere, and from the atmosphere, if this is 12C and 13C is there, if it will take 12C from the atmosphere, and in atmosphere that is enriched in 13C, and here that is enriched in 12C. Like this is what your biological fractionation, that is through fractionation through biological transformation, either this fractionation through your physical or biological, like this. Then same thing, why this always your if you compare this 12C and 13C, 18O, 16O, always this lighter one is always weaker than your heavier one. This is what this always this tend to fractionate, or the due to this 13C, suppose 13C by 12C, as this bond strength, this 13C is more stronger than 12C, so that whenever this suppose 18O by 16O, here 18O, that is bond is more stronger, and 16O somehow is weaker. That's why whenever this cloud, suppose whenever this if this is sea water, when this water will evaporate, then 16O will go away from this water. That is what due to this weaker bonds, that is either 12C or 16O, these are always weaker than your heavier one, that means 13C or 18O, like this. That is what your always this 12C always move faster than your heavier isotope. Here in this case, if you will see, if this is your this 12C and this is 13C, if you will see in calcareous sediments, in sediments if you will see, that is that will take more 13C, and if you will see through this is what biological process, it will increase in 12C. That is what this value, if you will see, whenever this 12C increases, that value is more and more negative, and if you will see here, the value is more and more positive. That is what, if this lighter one will increases, that means this value should be more and more negative. If that heavier one will increases, that value, isotope value, will be more and more positive, like this. Then if you will see another example of this, like this, what if you will see, when this, if it this one is sea water, combination of 16O and 18O, and when this evaporation, this is what your this 16O, this 16O will go away from this, and this from this it will be enriched in 16O. That means that value is more and more negative. That means from here again it will be rain, again it will come out, and it will mix with this. And similarly, if here also same thing, if that is when the evaporation occurs, that means this lighter oxygen, that lighter oxygen means 16O, 16O will be enriched in your cloud, and whenever this 16O will be enriched, that means that value will be more and more negative. And if you will see this glacial climate, this from oxygen isotopes, if that value will come, this del 18O will become in negative, that shows your cold glacial climate. If that is del 18O is more and more positive, that will show your humid temperate climate. That is what your oxygen isotopes shows. Then if you will see this, then if you will see this sulfur isotope, in that case also, this is 34S equal to del 34S equal to, this is what 34S by 32S for sample divided by the standard minus 1 into 10 to the power 3 parts per mil. And this is generally will the standard is CDT, cationium dibalotrolite. This is what sulfur isotopes. In case of sulfur isotopes, if you will see, this is the range of sulfur isotopes. If this is 0, and if you will see, this is negative value and this is positive value, and if in negative value, if you will see, this is euxenic environment, and if you will see this positive values, this is shallow marine and brackish environments. Then if you will see this bacterial reduction, if you will see this value will somehow this range is somehow close to positive value. If you will see this organic reduction also, this somehow this positive also. If you will see this sulfur isotope value, there are different this isotope ranges that from negative to positive. You will see this from this value that ranges from your positive to your negative values like this. And if you see this sulfur isotopes in where if you see this del 13S is less than 0, and also if you see del 13S is greater than 0, and this also greater than 0. This is what this sulfur isotope mainly fractionate due to this bacterial activity. This is what this fractionation, this is mainly due to this bacterial activity, in where this sulfur SO2 will be converted to into this this SO4. This is converted to S2S. That means this is a oxidizing condition and this is reducing conditions. And this bacteria plays an important role in to convert this sulfate to your sulfide. That means oxidizing to reducing conditions. And this size of sulfate reservoir, if you will see this, what is the size of sulfate reservoir, then what is the temperature of that environment, what is the temperature of that reservoir, then what is the rate of removal of S2S, how means what is the rate of removal, how this, all these things depend upon your sulfur. This is what sulfur isotope. And if we'll, here we have seen, we have already discussed this carbon isotopes, oxygen isotopes and sulfur isotopes. This is what in stable isotopes all these three plays an important role to trace the source. If you'll see this carbon isotopes, if that will be more and more negative values, and that means 13C will be depleted. If we'll see this positive values, then here will be see 13C will be enriched. Similarly, if oxygen isotope, if we'll see that value is negative, that means 18O is more and more then means 18O is depleted, more and more depleted. And if we'll see this is positive value, then 18O is this, and in negative, that is means 16O is enriched. If it will be positive, then this is 18O will be enriched. Like that, if 18O will be enriched, then 16O will be depleted. Like that, enrichment, enrich and depleted. These two terms are used to always used in isotopes. This is what your isotopes. And here in isotopes, there is mainly carbon, oxygen, sulfur is used to trace the source, where from where it will be come out. It will come out. Like that, it is either crustal source, or magmatic source, meteoric water source, high temperature, low temperature source. Like that, from this isotopes, we'll see this what is the source, either juvenile source, magmatic source. From this isotope values, we'll see either it is negative value or positive values. From that, we'll tell what is the source of that. What is the source? Either it is crustal source or mantle source. Low temperature source, high temperature source. Like this, we'll tell about this, what is the source. And one thing we'll remember before going for any interpretation of these isotopes, first we'll see what is the initial isotope ratio and what is the final isotope ratio, and what are the different changes. Means if that changes will come out through different fluid, if different fluid will pass throughout that, then that is also isotope values will be get altered. Suppose oxygen isotope, that is very high prone to alteration. So that for oxygen isotopes, there is be compulsory before interpreting this oxygen isotopes, first we will do some fluid rock interaction model. Before concluding this isotopes, first this carbon, oxygen, and I have already discussed about this carbon isotopes, oxygen isotopes, sulfur isotopes. First, we will have to do some fluid rock interaction model. Suppose in carbon isotopes, there is initial isotope values, if there will be -1, and this is final isotope values. And if you will see, there are different secondary fluid. those which are pass out, suppose in oxygen isotopes, this oxygen isotope very high prone to alteration. So that for oxygen isotope there is need to be some fluid rock interaction model before interpreting this oxygen isotopes. As this oxygen isotope highly prone to alteration, so if we will see what is the final isotope values and what is the initial isotope values. If we will see initial isotope values is 2 and the final isotopic value is 10, means what is the difference between these two, and as this different fluid pass through this pass through, then there will be also change in alteration of this isotope values. And one thing I am telling, last sentence, before going to interpret any isotope values, either carbon, oxygen or sulfur isotope values, first we will have to need to do some mathematical fluid rock interaction model. If we will, after doing this mathematical fluid rock interaction model, then if we will interpret this isotope values, I think that will give a correct this interpretation of this all these isotopes like that. As these isotopes are very, I have already told, these oxygen isotopes are very highly prone to alteration, so that there will be compulsorily need to do some fluid rock interaction model. So as this isotope is generally this stable isotope, we can use in to trace the source, to find out the source. Before find out the source, first we will need to this fluid rock interaction model, then after then we will do some will do interpretation of this isotope values. I think I have taken lots of time.